Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Okoth. I'm the carbon head at SunCulture. I've been in this role for close to 3 years now, and my focus has been on utilizing carbon finance to power SunCulture's growth and impact across Africa. My role spans from delivering premium carbon credits from our solar water pump projects to shaping our go-to-market strategy in both voluntary carbon markets and the emerging compliance markets under the Article 6 framework of the Paris Agreement. Before joining SunCulture, I've worked in carbon due diligence systems, contributed to methodological development using Earth observation tools with a few international carbon standards. I have advised on structuring corresponding adjustment transactions between host and receiving countries. And this background helps me to bring a technical, market driven perspective to the work of SunCulture Carbon. I'm quite interested to explore how to integrate productive use appliances and solar water pump into the portfolio of carbon credits in the region. Yeah, so Sun Culture is a climate smart agriculture company focused on unlocking potential of smallholder farmers across Africa through solar water pumping, irrigation, and productive use appliances. Sun Culture works at intersection of clean energy with agriculture and climate finance, and carbon is a key enabler in all of this. Our carbon project involves replacing diesel and manual water pumps with highly efficient solar water pumping solutions that allows farmers to grow more and more and do so in a way that is climate resilient. These systems generate high quality measurable carbon reductions which we bring to market, specifically in form of tradable certificates with both farmer incomes both on the increase. We also make the infrastructure more secure in the way we want to bring additional products to our customers that increase their incomes and definitely augmented with carbon finance. For example, some cultures previously partnered with Tobacco to offer micro health insurance and credit life insurance facilities to our end users. And we are now working with Humanity Insured and Ibiza to bring parametric insurance tools as well to smallholder farmers. On the carbon front, we are very fortunate to have some of the incredible partners and organizations like the British International Investment, the Shell Foundation, who have been instrumental in providing holistic carbon financing to work with us alongside other market players like Poch in establishing a secured carbon ecosystem, including additional support from our supply chain business entities like Acumen Water Equity and the Private Infrastructure Development Group. We're very much privileged to bring together a market ecosystem that de-risks investment and carbon while ensuring the long-term sustainability and affordability of SunCulture water pump credits as a result of this particular facility. And so together we're quite interested in making the productive use appliances accessible to smallholder farmers in emerging markets. So Sun Culture operates 100% across Africa. Specifically, the primary markets where we are at the moment is Kenya and Uganda. And in this markets, we have seen the decency and the opportunity is immense in bringing on this augmented solar water pumping solutions, specifically to the smallholder farmers who are the last mile users of these particular technologies to improve their food security challenges. That said, our mission has been to develop and commercialize life changing technologies for the world's 570 million smallholder farming households. So while Africa is our starting point, we've set our global targets and sites on the radar. In Africa, we're also working with other markets like Zambia and Ivory Coast with our distributors as a plan for expansion in the region and beyond. So Africa is absolutely critical to the future of carbon markets. The continent, it's still early in its carbon journey, but it's rich with opportunities from its natural ecosystems to its human capital, which is a critical component in stabilizing the carbon markets. What's exciting in Africa is that there's been a chance to build a carbon market that is equitable, innovative, and truly impactful, not just replacing the systems from elsewhere, but by innovatively designing the solutions that work for the environment. This includes some of the carbon programs that directly impact livelihoods, such as the SunCulture, provide the opportunities for building local capacity through training and knowledge sharing on climate mitigation, but of course, trickling down the carbon benefits through carbon cash flows, going down to end users. For instance, and culture uses its carbon finance to discount the London price of the solar water pump to smallholder farmers to ensure that the impact is robustly spread across the communities and the households that likely use and need these technologies in the region. Um, Africa is rich with opportunities, and one of the favorite stories um, is watching how a single water pump can transform a household. I remember visiting a farmer in Machakos County in Kenya named Margaret, who went on relying on the seasonal rainfall before St. Culture's water pump was installed. Sometimes she augmented with diesel generators, but with one season, she had the opportunity to, put down these traditional diesel systems and double their income. That has been really an eye opener to myself. On our carbon side, we've had major wins, one of which has been one of the most renowned solar irrigation water pumps in the region. And we have been successfully able to bring this to market, delivering premium carbon into the markets as a result of the impact and the emissions reductions that bring up the clear rationale on additionality side of the project. And we're very much happy to work with BII Shell Foundation alongside our other partners to bring this to scale across the continent. I've seen the emerging challenges across Africa related to the long term promise in carbon with short term volatility that kicks in, making it difficult to plan, especially when timelines for methodologies and approvals and feedbacks from validation and verification take forever, and regulations become very much unclear. Then there is a huge sense of uncertainty, which affects the investment decisions and stretches our operational capacity. in that managing the cash flows becomes a balancing act, especially when we must deliver high quality credit at scale while staying true to our mission of bringing this premium carbon to the market. I think subsequent improvement in timeline and surety in the regulation structures would robustly improve our operations in the region. So, in the region, we've seen countries coming together, definitely to fix some of the challenges that I've pointed out. Starting with the eastern side of the country, where I'm most familiar with, I've seen Kenya taking a leadership role in bringing together their domestication framework for Paris Agreement, which is bringing a lot more stabilized environment for procuring carbon credits. In the other side of the continent, we've seen Ghana really at a good step, taking leadership in guiding other countries that have the ambitions to bring the mitigation outcomes to receiving countries, putting up the pipelines. We're quite excited about also other markets taking traction, such as Uganda. We've seen Rwanda as well, doing a lot of cross-sectoral investments and authorizations towards corresponding adjustments. If we can be at a place where we can commonly have all these countries colluding to create the playbook to guide on the release of authorizations, which has been the main heckle in the market, then I think the rest of the African countries will have a lot easier entry into the carbon markets under the new frameworks. Well, I have had a lot of thinking around why do I want to participate at the Carbon Markets Africa Summit. Specifically, the key interest has been to bring together the opportunities to convene with other stakeholders and understand the cutting edge trends from financiers, entrepreneurs, and project developers who are in the same space to try get a better snapshot of what the market is going to look like tomorrow to integrate into our growth strategy from carbon thinking and relaying down our next moves into the market. With the volatility, I think the best we can do to ourselves is to get in as much information to be always ready for the next potential challenges or maybe the new products that can improve the work that we're already involved in. And I do believe the summit will help a lot with that. Um, the last message that I want to bring to the summit specifically is that um, we will be sharing more about the SunCulture Carbon Program ecosystem, the one we've established alongside Shell and BI. We want to bring a learning session where we're going to talk a lot more about this and allow interested parties to come and interact with us to identify how to participate or just how to get a learning curve on how we want to continuously bring real impact to smallholder farmers in the region and how we want to scale that. You're very much encouraged to join us during the summit and let us think together and participate together in bringing impact across emerging markets of Africa. So I do believe summits such as the Carbon Market Africa Summit are very key knowledge sharing platforms in the region. They allow investors, they allow the project developers, together with governments, to know exactly how to position the carbon markets in a beneficial structure. By beneficial, I mean How do we structure our regulatory environment and statutory instruments to continuously encourage the delivery of quality carbon credits? How do we implement and augment financing with the right skill sets and tools to take this market to the next level? From a policy context, I think there is a lot more discussions going around this as well, which will help to commercialize and bring the carbon markets to maturity in the region. So I very much say congratulations to Carbon Market Africa Summit for reconvening again on these important networking items. What I'd like to add is that we've seen decent projects coming across in the region, definitely with innovation in financing systems. Like SunCulture is taking leadership with catalytic partnerships and the emergence of carbon focused financial institutions that are in the region, such as Melanin Capital, to bring on ecosystems that are buffered for carbon transactions and allowing people to participate hands on alongside project developers such as ourselves. We've seen also other emerging projects in the region towards decarbonization, such as the Kenya Biohub, backed by EDF, Invest International, and Mauritius Bank, that are further proof that the continent is very serious about decarbonization and carbon projects as a whole. And the momentum around the policy regulation and the human capital towards the cutting edge trends in the market will take us a long way. And we're very much happy to continue to collaborate with receiving country governments in integrating some of these infrastructures, not only in the productive use appliances sector, but also just in training and knowledge sharing across the region, even to our end users.